Child. While Henny was in the air, it was going down. Child. Woo-wee. Come on in, because we got a lot to talk about, y'all. Apparently, a lot was going down. So, the goings-ons. What's the goings-ons? Let me let y'all know what the goings-ons is. So, when I last left off with y'all, we was reading the inner city press, and they was talking about, David James being up there on the stand, and he was testifying to the fact that he had to take a lie detector test. Well, baby, it appears that David James was not the only one that had to take a lie detector test, because somebody else had to take a lie detector test too. Capricorn Clark had to take a lie detector test. And we're hearing a lot about Capricorn Clark. I'm wondering if we're going to hear from Capricorn Clark next. Okay, that's what I'm wondering. Is Capricorn Clark going to enter into the courtroom? Because now we done had Cassie Mama come out and talk. They done had the Punisher come out and talk while Henny was in the air trying to get there. Oh, they was just but I told y'all that this is what was about to happen, because baby, it's a lot that's about to come out. It's a lot that's going down. I told y'all it was just heating up, and baby, it is proving out to be true. But don't worry, your girl got y'all. Your girl got y'all, okay? So, yeah, they brought up exhibits and ammunitions. Oh my God, they had a lot going on. Whew, so where did we leave off at? Because I'm seeing that, the AUSA said, let's turn to 2 more exhibits. What are these? And Agent Gannon is talking about ammunition we found, and these platform heels. How high are they? 7 inches. 7-inch platform heels? Seven-inch platform heels. Child, this is a whole mess. When I tell y'all, this is a whole mess. I got off this plane and my phones had died. And I'm looking but I was getting my alerts. They was all coming in and stuff like that. I think that's great. Everybody should and needs to take a lie detector test. Baby, a lie detector test. Do you understand what they was taking lie detector tests for now? First, David James took a lie detector test to prove that he was not the one that leaked the information to the blogs about him putting hands, feet, knee bows on Cassie at a club. He went through his browser history and made him do a lie detector test. Then he made Capricorn Clark take a lie detector test to prove that she wasn't part of a heist because somebody stole Diddy jewelry. Child, this is a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. Y'all come on in the room, double tap the screen and all of that, and let's get into this so y'all can see what I mean. Now, as you know, we don't necessarily have all of the transcripts right in front of us at this moment, but we finna get them, though. We finna get them. Don't worry. Don't worry. We finna get them, and we finna be all up and through and in and out and round we go and all of that. Oh, did y'all know Diddy got a new lawyer? He added another lawyer to his team, y'all. Which phone is it in so I can tell y'all what is going on? I think it's in, is it in this phone? It's in the phone. I think it's in the phone that I'm on right now. Let me see. So it started off the day with Diddy having another lawyer. He done added another lawyer to his dream team. Jonathan P. Bach of Shapiro. He got a whole nother lawyer added into, wait a minute, take notice that Jonathan Bach of Shapiro, I can't see that, is hereby approved as counsel for defendant Sean Combs. Baby, he done already had 7 lawyers. Now he got 8. He got 8 lawyers now. And this just went in on 5/20 today, this morning. It was into the courthouse today. Another lawyer. Why you need so many damn lawyers? This is not the OJ trial.
For what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you told?
No. I'm good. No, I'm good.
You want pillow?
No, I'm good. All right, so now let's get into this. Boom. All right, because inner city press is all over the place today for me. It's a little bit too much going on for me. I'm trying to get to the get to because I was scrolling and I'm looking and they talking about the Punisher was in there trying to sell a book and all of that. Where is it? Jesus, let me find out. He done hit him. Because, you know, the thing is, sometimes inner city press, they be hiding they posts. And I'm hoping he ain't hide the post from today. Doing Richard's testimony, that's not what we looking for. They took a break an hour ago. I need what was prior to this. And it looks like he done broke the chain. So what was I just looking at? Because I was just reading some stuffs. Diddy Dream Team. Okay. No. Okay. We looking, we going. The lawyers have been told not to give speaking objections. So they're not supposed to be giving objections no more in the courtroom. Because if the judge is saying you can object, but you ain't got to give us a reason why you objected. If I want to know, I'll let you know that I want to know, and then we can go from there. So I think inner city press done took their stuff down. Oh, excuse me, Diddy docket. Now a 10th member joins Sean's legal team. Jonathan Batch, husband of Alexandra Shapiro, already on the team. That's what he's saying. That it's 10. That he got 10 lawyers now. So I stand corrected. Henny, don't go making friends over there. What you talking? Henny, don't mention P and Diddy in the same sentence. What you mean? P. Diddy is his name, no. P. Diddy. Hey, Auntie Mama Bear Gaming. I am not in the courtroom. I will be in the courtroom, though, because I am where I need to be at. So I will be at the Diddy trial, period. Y'all thought I wasn't? I told y'all I was. I'm from New York, okay? I'm from New York. Diddy was running my city, and now I got to come and I got to find out what kind of leadership the city was under Diddy. Hold on, because I'm trying to... did we get it? We got it. I think we got it. Never mind, I done found the thread. So let's get back. Let's go all the way back. Take it back. Let me go all the way back. And I got to take y'all back to this thumbnail because he was on the stand today. Nobody else. Don't pay attention to Dawn. Dawn was not on the stand today. Carrie wasn't on the stand today. So I'm going to sit like this just so y'all see. David James was still on the stand. Okay, so boom, check it now that I've got the transcript and I figured it out. Oh, Henny, what is you doing, girl? That is not what you was just doing. Because here's the thing, you got to find. That's not it. Oh, yes, it is. All right, I got you. All right, so boom, check it, right? Oh, your mama's a monkey. All right. So we already talked about. I felt calm because we've been, okay, boom. All right. So we was over here. So let's get into what David James had to say because we finna read all of what Inner City Press said. And it was a lot, honey. It was a lot. All right. So did anything ever go missing? He said a bracelet. So you remember, okay, that's when they went and they searched the house. And he also had to go through a lie detector test about the bracelet coming up missing. That's what it was. David had to do a lie detector test. And they searched his stuff and they searched the girlfriend stuff that he had at the time. But I'm hearing that David is a little... I don't know. We don't care if he is or isn't. But that's what I'm hearing. So now they told about boom, 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 boom. All right, so Slavic says, did this happen again? Talking about, the lie detector test. And David was like, yes, when Mr. Combs said said a watch of his had been stolen. So Slavic said, what was the result? David said, the gentleman told me I seemed nervous. I said, I sure am. Once Capricorn Clark had to take a lie detector to prove she wasn't part of a heist of Mr. Combs' jewelry. So people was around him stealing. Yes, they was stealing, honey. They was stealing. Sticky fingers, all right? Slavic said, was there an incident at Mel's Diner with Suge Knight? David says, yes, I drove the Silver Navigator to get cheeseburgers there. D-Rock said, that's MFing Suge Knight. He went over and said, what's up? Suge didn't recognize him. D-Rock said, I'm Biggie Boy. Slavic said, what happened next? David said, we noticed 4 black SUVs, 2 different sides of the parking lot. I saw someone hand Suge Knight a pew pew. D-Rock said, we got to get out of here. We drove back to the house. Slavic said, what did you find there? David said, Cassie was crying. Mr. Combs got in the vehicle. I saw 3 pew pew on his lap. David said, I felt calm because we'd been in a silver vehicle, now a black one. They wouldn't see us coming. Do y'all hear this? I thought I did block them. Oh, they going, Auntie Mama Bear. They are going. So David is corroborating the fact that Diddy, D-Rock, and now he's putting himself in the vehicle. He done put himself. David put himself in the SUV with them to go run down on Suge Knight. Allegedly, according to David. Yes, they on some GTA. This sounds just like some Grand Theft Auto, okay? So, and David is saying he felt calm because they was in a black SUV as where earlier they had been in a silver one. So he understands what it is to be in the back of the black instead of the silver. And he said he felt calm because they would never see them coming. How come they weren't scared to go missing for stealing his jewelry? Child, because they thought they was not going to get caught. And clearly they must not have caught anybody because I don't hear him saying, well, we figured out who it was and Diddy did that. So they must have got away with it. Anyway, so now Slavic says, what did you find at Mel's Diner? David says Suge Knight had left. Mr. Combs said, drive around the block. Slavic said, what did you decide? David said to leave the company. They offered me another position, but I just wanted to leave. My life was at risk. So boom, David is saying after that incident happened, I was out of here. Okay, I was gone. I didn't want to be a part of that. But you was just saying that you felt calm because y'all was in a black SUV. That's not so. Anyway, I'm not even gonna order on go. I will see you tomorrow, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, bro. Wheels down, done landed. While I was in the air, it was going down. Y'all had a lot going on. Uda, I want to bring you up. I don't know how to bring you up on here, though, because this was a lot. I can't wait either. It's going to be so dope. It's about to be a movie. It's about to be a movie. I was going to try to come down there as soon as I landed, but I was like, no. Let me be easy. It's going to be so dope. I can't wait. I can't wait to link. This is going to be good. Yeah, I'm not rushing it. I'm going to chill today. Yo, bro, why are you? That's weird. All right, so I was just telling him about David's testimony. If you really early, you can get in Diddy court. I don't know if I want to go in Diddy court yet. I don't know. Is it worth the experience? We're going to talk behind the scenes, bro. You going to let me know what do you think I should do? Because I kind of want to feel my way out because I am like a late comer. I'm kind of tardy to the party. So I do want to feel my way. I don't want to just jump head first. All right, call me later, bro. All right, so boom. Now David, now I'm taking y'all all the way to David, and we're gonna go all the way through to the moms. Cause mama was on this stand, and I'm telling y'all, this is gonna y'all done already heard a lot of it. Tomorrow, I will make sure that we get some of this testimony from the transcripts so we can fill in the blanks on what's going. Well, we won't even really need the transcripts, though, because if I'm in the courtroom, I can fill in the blanks in between Inner City Press's posts, okay? So now, boom, David has left. David said, I'm not dealing with that. My life was in danger. I'm up out of here, all right? So Slavic says no further questions. So now Mr. Aglifino comes in and he says, you didn't tell all of this the first time. And see, now I got to tell y'all, they're coming for the credibility, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there is a portion in the jury instructions where they are telling people to pay attention to people's testimony, the things that they're saying. Listen to how they're giving it. Pay attention to them. And then ask yourself, is this a credible person? Do I believe their story? This is something that was in the jury's instructions. So when you see Aglifino and the defense coming for this person's credibility, it's because that's what they have to establish, that this person is not credible. So now when he's coming with this, you didn't say this during this time and you ain't say this during that time, that's what he's gunning for. So now Aglifino tells him, you ain't say it right. So David says, they told me to stop, to not say anything that would incriminate me. So Aglifino goes, look at the notes from your interview, read it to yourself, then look up at me. I guess David read the notes, then he looked up, he says, okay. Aglifino says, how did you recognize Suge Knight? David says, I listened to hip hop. Aglifino goes, were you drinking or smoking pot? David says, no, sir. Aglifino says, your mind was clear. David says, as it could be, working 20 hours a week at 4 a.m. Aglifino says, D-Rock opens the door, Suge Knight is a few cars over. David says, window open. D-Rock says, I'm Biggie's boy. And then Suge recognizes him, gives him a dap. So this is what I'm saying. We got stuff that's missing from in here. So David, no. Mr. Aglifino asked him, what's a dap? Oh, yeah. He asked him, what's a dap? So then David says, a handshake. Aglifino said, did you leave D-Rock at the diner? Why are you smiling? David says, because that's a crazy question. Why would I? So I guess while Aglifino, well, not guess, it's what he said. Aglifino's asking him, did you leave D-Rock down there at the diner? And David starts smiling. Like, why would I do that? Like, in other words, to say that's a ridiculous question. So Aglifino goes, didn't you leave D-Rock at the diner? David says, that makes no sense. Aglifino says, I'm not asking what makes sense. I'm asking, did you? David says, no. Aglifino says, you saw Cassie and Mr. Combs? David says, yes, Mr. Combs told me to drive. Aglifino says, you don't know where Mr. Combs got the from, do you? So David says, I didn't know we had guns until then. He said, I didn't even know that these existed in our presence. So Aglifino says, have you ever been in a situation like that? David says, no. Aglifino says, you didn't say, I don't want to drive to Suge Knight with... David says, no. Aglifino says, what exactly did you do before you got this job? David says, I was a door-to-door salesman, then personal assistant. So Aglifino says, now you were going to confront someone? David says, that was not ideal. Aglifino says, you knew how to get to Mel's Diner, right? David says, I frequent there all the time. So Aglifino says, you've never seen before, right? David said, no. Aglifino goes, this is a radical departure from your job description. Is that an understatement? David says that it's the understatement of the day so far. Okay? So Aglifino asks him, do you have immunity? David says, ask my lawyer. I have some kind of offer agreement. What did I tell y'all when I was getting on the plane this morning? I told y'all, I said, I don't know for a fact. I don't know for sure. But what I can tell you from what I've seen and what I've known, that when somebody is getting up there on them stages, I'm calling it a stage, because that's what the witness stand is at this point in time. It is a stage, okay? Because this is all the days of my hip hop now. This is a drama. So I told y'all that somebody has immunity, that they've got to have immunity and they've got to been offered deals, because David should be a co-conspirator, being that he was covering up crimes as well. So Aglifino says a proffer. You didn't tell anyone about this? David says, only my wife. So Aglifino goes, did you meet with the government this morning? David says, yes, briefly, about what might come up in Cross. Aglifino says, did the Mel Diner incident come up? David says, I don't, not that I recall. Aglifino says, it's this morning. What did you talk about? So David says, your style. And then he laughs a little bit. Hey, hoo-doo, yeah. What's popping?
What would you like to drink in the early morning then? Out for a juice or that's okay.
A Pepsi?
That's it?
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So Aglifino says, I'm dying to ask what they said, but won't. So now Aglifino says, I have a few more mundane questions. David says, I love mundane questions. Aglifino goes, where did you travel with Mr. Combs? David says, Ibiza, London, Saint-Tropez. Saint-Tropez. I'm sorry, I always say that wrong. Aglifino says, were these vacations? David said, business oriented. Aglifino, where were you hired at? David says, personal. What were you hired as? David says, personal liaison, but I was a personal assistant. Aglifino, he met a high-level roster of people. David says, second understatement of the day. Aglifino says, why? David says, he met with a who's who. All right. Remember, I was saying, as an assistant, this was what he was coming into contact with. He was coming into contact with high-profile people, people that he would not have normally been able to have access to. He had access to because he was with Diddy and he was Diddy's assistant, which means he could walk in the door and say, I'm Diddy's assistant, and get just about anything that he wants because his assistant is just as good as having him. Paulie said David needs to behave. David up there laughing in this man's face. That's why I need to talk to Uda, or go and find out what was really happening in that courtroom. Child. So, Aglifino says it was important that he be prepared for these meetings, right? David says yes. Aglifino, it was important that he be on time. David says no. We changed meetings to fit his schedule all the time when he didn't want to show up at a certain time. So Diddy is out here making meetings to meet up with people, and he's telling David like, yo, I'm not making it at 2 o'clock. Tell him to make that at 6 because that more fits my style. That's what time I could be there. This explains what we hearing about the bathroom break when they talking about how he told the judge, yo, I need a bathroom break. And he was talking to him the way he was talking to him. And they were saying that he was coming off entitled because Diddy's used to being treated with a certain level. So he has an expectation when it comes down to people treating him a certain way and giving him what he wants. He's used to getting what he wants. Okay. So now Aglifino says he had security because people wanted to touch him, right? David says yes, in the airport, in McDonald's. Aglifino says he was gracious. David says, I don't think gracious is a word I'd use for Sean Combs. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to laugh. I'm supposed to be keeping a straight face, okay? Aglifino said, did he sign autographs? David said no. I ain't never heard of nobody saying I got my stuff signed by Diddy. So Aglifino asked, did you know he put applesauce on cheeseburgers? Applesauce on cheeseburgers is wild. Applesauce on cheeseburgers is wild. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. Well, I'm reading and I don't judge. Y'all can judge. I'm reading. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Yes, he did say that. Weeda, I'm a savage. I get what I want. So David says no, but I knew he likes applesauce. Aglifino says he likes Astroglide, condoms, baby oil, but you didn't expense it through the business. David said usually not. I was told he didn't want to run them through the company. He didn't want a record of them. So Diddy wasn't even buying his freak off supplies with bad boy money. Okay, so Aglifino goes, when you bought the 8 ball of on Saint-Tropez. You didn't tell Mr. Combs, did you? David says he was asleep. Aglafino says, tell me about your relationship with Roger Bonds. Roger Bonds again. Roger Bonds again. We talked about Bad Boy as a family. Aglafino, what do you mean? David, Mama Combs called me her son many times. Aglafino, what was the mission? David, make sure he's happy. Aglafino, was it fun? David, I enjoyed it from time to time. Aglafino, what was your relationship with Chef Jordan? David, professional. Aglafino, did you choke her? David, no. AUSA, objection. The judge wanted a sidebar. Like, what is you doing? What are we talking about here? Where did this come from? So, Aglafino comes back and says, tell me what happened. David said, we were on Star Island. She told me where to take him. I grabbed her two wrists and said, stay in your effing lane. Aglafino asked, was there a fallout? David said it was reported to corporate HQ. Mr. Combs called me in. Mr. Combs told me you can't be putting your hands on women. He told me to give her a gift. Now he's sitting up here, Mr. I done left bruises all over Cassie's body, which I'm hearing that they showed pictures of Cassie's body. When Cassie testified about them emails, remember she said that there was an email she sent to her mom and Capricorn Clark. When she was on the stand, it came out about that. I'm hearing that the mom testified to the email and told what was in the email. And when Cassie got there, the pictures that her mother took of her were heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. And this is a man who just last night, we saw photographs of bruises on Cassie's body. We just heard Richard. I don't know if it's Richard or Richard because I hear it pronounced two different ways in mainstream media. But we just heard her talk about how Diddy threatened her and Kalina's life in the studio after they watched him put hands, feet, and kneebones on Cassie. And then he turned around and gave them flowers. So doesn't this sound like he's telling him exactly what he does? Because he tells him, you don't put your hands on women, and told me to give her a gift. Gifts do not equate to not doing it. You don't put your hands on women, period. But how hypocritical. And then he's teaching him the game. Put your hands on a woman, you give him a gift. Shaking my damn head. Aglafino, what did you give her, James? I rolled up a blunt and gave it to her. James gave her the gift of get high. He gave her a blunt. I ain't buying nothing. I'm going to give you something to ease your tensions. Aglafino said, did she like it? David said, it appears she did. Aglafino, you were in the car with Mr. Combs and who? David says, Chris Lightly. Aglafino says, you have taken ecstasy? David says, I'd party, sure. Aglafino, what were things like in the studio? Rugs? David says, yes, just a creative environment. I didn't smoke when working with Mr. Combs. Aglafino, but he caught you smoking once. David, I thought he was in for the night. I lit up. He came out. He said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, if you're man enough to smoke, you're man enough to tell me. I said, okay, I'm smoking. He said, if I did it again, he'd fire me. Aglafino, how about when you picked up two prostitutes and had slegs with one of them? AUSS says objection. The judge says overruled. David says she asked for $200. I called Bonds and asked, what the hell? She asked to take a shower. I said, that's $200. Aglafino, on that note, no further questions. So now what Aglafino has done here is he's saying, just based off of this, remember we are going off of inner city press, which means that there are things that have happened in between, and we're going to find out what them things was that happened in between, okay? So basically what he done put up here is he done established that, oh, you done used some sex workers too. But at the end of the day, he's not on trial. He's not on trial. Is Kalina testifying this week? I don't know. I don't know who's testifying this week. I don't. Allegedly, I heard Kid Cudi maybe testifying tomorrow, but I don't know because I heard that Kid Cudi wasn't testifying. Just like I was like, well, I don't know if the mom is testifying. I heard the mom is not testifying, but then the mama testified. So I have no idea what's going on. Okay? So now Slavic comes back, okay, because this is a redirect. And she asks, what about the incident in Alpine, New Jersey? David says to file a police report and say that Chef Jordan had been the aggressor. But I didn't file it. I drove around and told him I'd make the report. So Slavic asks, what have we asked you to do? David says, tell the truth. Nothing further. Recross, Aglafino, here he comes. You lied to Mr. Combs about filing the police report? David says, yes. Aglafino, nothing further. Could we have a break? So now they go on break and now they come back. All right. So this is when Cassie's mother is now on the stand. So now let's talk about David. I want to do a poll. It is time for a poll. All right. Did David establish a pattern of rugs and violence, or did he just back up Cassie's story? And I should have said Cassie and Dawn, because Cassie and Dawn gave testimony already. Me personally, I feel like he helped to establish that, yes, there was more going on here. Okay? Because remember, he put out there that Diddy was getting prescription rugs in his name, unbeknownst to him. Diddy had him paying for prescription rugs in his name. He would pay for it. Bad Boy would pay him back. I'm going to assume that he was paying for the rugs from One Stop, and Roger Bonds was paying him back. Remember, we're missing parts of the story, so we're just going off of what we have. We also just heard that the baby oil, the Astroglide, the condoms, and things of that nature was not purchased underneath Bad Boy, which means somebody else was purchasing these items for Diddy, and they were possibly being reimbursed through Bad Boy or being paid in cash via Roger Bonds. He has established that he has walked in on Freak Off while it was happening, because remember, he said that he walked in and Cassie was with a dude. The shower was on. He didn't see Diddy, but he saw another man that was there, that was tall, skinny, and well endowed. And he scurried away from Cassie as she was laying on her back. It sounded to me like he established some things there outside of all of the salaciousness. He established that there was there and that they were going to go get Suge Knight. He put himself in the vehicle. And on the other side, he showed that he has some type of agreement with the government. Now, we don't have all of the information, but based off of what we have, child, it's right here. I told you, if my freedom was on the line and I had the money, I would have 10 lawyers too. It sounds like he needs to be next to Diddy, but he got a deal. Roger can go where the sun don't shine. He needs a seat next to Itty Bitty Diddy. Y'all take the poll. Y'all take the poll. Y'all hit the poll. When we get 100 people, we'll change the poll, especially being that we are getting ready to get into the next person who testified, which is Regina Ventura, which is Cassie's mother, okay? So AUSA Slavic asked her where she lives, and she says, she lives in Connecticut. And how many children did she have? She says 2. So Cassie has a brother, and it's Cassie, and that's it, right? So she shows her a picture and asks her, who is this? She says, Sean Combs. He dated my daughter. So Slavic says, did you meet Sean Combs? Regina says, 2006, my daughter signed with Bad Boy. He was her boss. Then they started dating. They moved to LA. Now, I would like to establish a time frame with y'all because Diddy and Cassie allegedly began dating one another in 2007. That's when they started dating. So I'll tell you why I brought that up later on after we get through this. Y'all make sure y'all hit the poll, double tap the screen, and stay active in the chat because the chat is definitely going down. All right. So she says they started dating, they moved to LA. Slavic says, read this message from December 2011. Regina Ventura, she says, Cassie wrote to me. Regina says, she said, Sean Combs threatened to release my Slegs tape and go after her and Miss Cudi. I don't know how to say Kid Cudi's real name, so he was going after her and Kid Cudi, all right? Slavic said, why did you take a loan to pay? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead. So she says, how did you react? This is how Slavic, came back. Regina says, it made me sick. Sean Combs demanded $20,000. He said to recoup losses due to Kid Cudi from my husband and myself. Slavic said, why did you take a loan to pay Sean Combs? Regina says, for the safety of my daughter. Slavic, look in the binder next to you. Regina, these are photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. So these are the photos that I've been hearing were very horrific, okay? So I don't know if they're going to be released to the press like how they were released before. Unfortunately, some of the blogs are not considered to be press, so they're not getting them. So yeah, we're going to have to wait to see what those photos entail. But now Slavic asked her, do you know Mia? Regina says she was an employee of Sean Combs. Slavic said, what happened? Regina says, we were in the kitchen laughing. Sean asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. So Slavic says, now to August 2016, we're done with the binder. While in LA, did you call the police? Regina says, yes, Sean Combs stole Cassandra's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment building. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the roundabout. Now, pause right there because there was a bit of confusion. When we talk about that that Intercontinental incident that happened, a lot of people were saying that was Diddy's phone, that he went in her bag and took her phone. No. That was Cassie's phone. That was not Diddy's phone. That was Cassie's cell phone. And he went in her bag and stole her phone. So when she went back in the room with the security, she got her phone. Yes. All right. So now, so that's why she called the police. So Slavic says, who else was there? Regina says, D-Rock. Slavic says, is Damon Butler his government name? So now we know D-Rock's real name, y'all. Damon Butler. Regina says, he was standing between us. I tried to hit him. Sean Combs took Cassandra's car, a Jaguar. Slavic says, no further questions. So now they said cross. Defense said no questions. They did not cross-examine Cassie's mom at all. So Aglafino and all of them just sat there and was like, Y'all hit the poll. Let me know what y'all thinking. A couple more so we can get the next poll up because that was a quick little testimony from Cassie's mom. I know there's more to it, but we gonna do what we do when we do what we do, darling, okay? Because the next person that we are going to be going through their testimony is going to be the sex worker, you little worker. That's the next person. Y'all hit the poll, hit the poll. If you don't know how to hit the poll, it's the black line at the bottom of the screen. Tap on that and then go ahead and let me know. Do you feel like David had established a pattern of rugs and violence or just backed up Cassie's story? Right now, 78% of y'all are saying established and 21% of y'all are saying backed up the story. Have you become peeing on... Wait, what? Hold on, let me get this poll down. Uh-oh. Nah, unhide Jihad, he cool. I know him in real life. You got sniped by accident. I know them in real life, though. When have we become peeing on people? Okay, when has it become a crime for people to pee on people? Peeing on people is not the crime. That's not the crime. Why they didn't call me for a witness, I don't know, but they don't need to call you. They don't need you up on the stand, sir. They do not need to call you to be up on the stand. Okay, so he is testifying tomorrow. All right, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to end this poll right here with 75% of y'all saying that David established the pattern and 25% of y'all saying that he just backed it up. All right, so now let's do the next poll. The next poll is, hold on, I'm going to ask y'all, was it smart for the defense I can't spell. For the defense, I'm here and I'm going to be down there tomorrow, G. Hold on, cross-examine. I gotta... That's all right. I'll have my questions ready for y'all tomorrow. Already ready to go. All right, here we go. There's the next poll. Y'all go ahead and tap that in. Excuse me, it ain't your town. It ain't your town. Don't get crude. Don't get crude. I'm a New Yorker, okay, David. Don't you can't take my card. I still have my New York State driver's license. Thank you very much. Okay, as long as I still have that, I am still a New Yorker. So now, they got the little worker that goes by the name of the Punisher up on the stand next, okay? And he is a witness for the government. Baby, I want to see you are. I'm so glad y'all are liking him. I want to see who the defense is calling because right now the government is pulling everybody out. I'm waiting to see who else is coming down. Come on down because the price is right. All right, so I'm going to say that it's Slavic who is still questioning, right? And so they called, his name is Sheree Hayes. And Sheree is from your town, Jiha. He's from Harlem, New York, okay? They asked him, what was your work? He was a male exotic dancer. I was known as the Punisher. The Punisher. Coming to the stage. The Punisher. I'm not supposed to be doing that. Anyway, do you recognize these two? So we're going to call him Punisher. We ain't going to call him Sheree. Because if I say Sheree, I'm going to think I'm talking about a female. So Punisher says, I do, Mr. Combs and Cassie Ventura. I was hired in 2012 to create sexy, erotic scenes for them. Slavic. Why do they call you the Punisher? Punisher. Playing basketball on West 4th Street. You know him? You know him? I'm asking, you know him? Slavic, the woman who called you, what time did she book you? The woman who called you, what time did she book you for? Punisher, midnight at Trump Tower, Central Park West, striptease for a small group of friends. They up in the Trump Tower freaking off. Trump was at them Diddy parties and then they was up in Trump Towers freaking off. Y'all don't see the connection? I'm just saying. Anyway, when you got there, how did Miss Ventura appear? Punisher said, in a bathrobe with nothing underneath and a wig. I was expecting a crowd, but there was no one else. She told me she and her husband wanted to create a sexual scene with baby oil. Don't this sound like the first one, Mr. Phillips? That y'all hit that poll. Y'all hit that poll down there. Hit the poll, pause, hit the poll, double tap the screen, and let's keep it moving. This is the same thing that the first male escort said, that he was a dancer and he was told to go there for a bachelorette party. And when he got there, it was just Cassie. And Cassie said her and her husband, yakety yakety yak. All right. So he says, Slavic says, what did she hand you? Punisher says $800. Slavic, how was the room? Punisher, dimly lit, electric candles, bowls of water with bottles of baby oil in them. She told me not to acknowledge her husband, not to look at him when he came out. So now, the bowls of water with the baby oil is because they was heating up the baby oil in warm water. Slavic, did he come out? Punisher, yes, he was naked. I couldn't see his face. It was like what a Muslim woman wears. You see only the eyes. He had a bottle of Astroglide. My view on it, I don't know who that sound like. I don't know. My view on it is they are establishing a pattern, and with the RICO, all they have to do, they don't have to prove all the counts. All they have to do is find him guilty on 2, and he going down. Yeah, he has to be found guilty of 2. To my understanding, but I could be wrong. I'm not a paralegal. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just somebody who enjoys murder programs and crime shows. You know what I'm saying? And reading these court docs. So Slavic says, how did you recognize it? Punisher says, I use it, the purple top. That's how he knew it was Astroglide. She was asking him, how did you know that was Astroglide? He said, I use it. The purple top gave it away. That's Astroglide all day, every day. So Slavic says, how did it end? Punisher says, she went into the other room with him. When she came back, she asked if I wanted to finish. I said no. If they were happy, I was happy. She gave more money. Slavic said, did you do it again? Punisher says, yes, 8 to 12 times. He was their favorite freak off, 8 to 12 times. What is your view on the very explicit text between Cassie and Diddy? What is it that you, what is my view on it? I don't feel like it shows that she wasn't in this. I feel like Cassie was groomed. And I believe she was moving and fawning. I do. I believe that. When you get somebody, they 19 years old and he's 17 years her senior, and he introduces her into this world, eventually she became comfortable with that. It became normal. That doesn't mean that that's necessarily, oh, she was setting this up and she was doing it. It doesn't always institute guilt, because at the end of the day, you got to look at the whole picture of what was going on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the whole picture. I cannot say... do you remember who brought Cassie out in the industry? What, Ryan Leslie? Is that who you're talking about? Let me know what you're talking about. All right. So, Slavic said, how did you end up recognizing her? So Punisher says, I was a fan of Mr. Combs and followed him on Instagram. I saw her on it. Slavic said this would be a good place to take a break. So they took a break and they came back. So Slavic says, how was these sessions scheduled? So Punisher said, I'd reach out at 5 or 7 p.m. or later. They'd ask for a sexy scene, but I knew it would be more. So Slavic says, how would it start? Punisher says baby oil, a sexy atmosphere Mr. Combs would direct. Slavic said, how did the direction work? Punisher says, Mr. Combs might say, sit forward, move the camera, or what would happen sexually, you know. One time during sex, he dropped a stack of money. He said, I like this ish. Slavic says, how much baby oil did you use? Punisher says, a lot. We were supposed to be glistening as much as possible. That explains the shininess. He got an obsession with shiny things. He likes everything shining and oil glistening all over your body. Hit the pole, hit the pole, hit the pole. Let me know, do you think it was smart for the defense to not cross-examine Cassie's mom? All right, so where we at? All right, Slavic said, how long would they last? Talking about the freak-offs. Punisher said 4 hours. A lot of waiting, maybe 40 minutes or so. I was supposed to finish in a specific spot. Now, remember, we were told the same thing from Mr. Phillips. He was supposed to finish in a specific spot. So Slavic says, then what? Punisher said she would leave with Mr. Combs 10 to 15 minutes. She'd return in a bathrobe and pay me $2,000 or $1,200 cash. Slavic, did you think Miss Ventura was enjoying herself? Donaldson, from Diddy's side, objected. All right. So Slavic asked, did you use rugs? Punisher said, I'm not a Mary Jane smoker, but I did pull a Bill Clinton. I was handed a joint. Slavic says, did you have performance issues? So Punisher says, having the woman's partner there, yes. So Slavic said, did the issue affect your pay? So they said objection. The judge said overruled, and he answered the question. He said, I wasn't sure how they calculated it. One time, Mr. Combs threw condoms on the couch next to us. I struggled. It was a failure. Slavic says what happened. Punisher says they went out. I finished. She came back and thanked me for privacy. Slavic said, what did you think would happen next? Punisher said, I was worried I would not be used again. I hadn't done my job. He had said, I want to see you F her, and I couldn't. Slavic says, are you writing a book? Punisher says, yes, self-help about my ED. It's advice. Slavic says, in your book, do you write about your time with Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura? Punisher says, yes. I call them a married, wealthy couple. Slavic says, how long is it? So Punisher says, 6 pages out of 186. I sensationalized it. I wanted it to be enjoyable, highs and lows. Slavic says, no further questions. So now here comes Donaldson from Diddy's side. I try to make this as harmless as possible. Congratulations on your book. What's it called? So Punisher goes, in search of freezer meat. What's harder than that? Donaldson says, good title. Who was just having live corn shot in front of him? I don't know. Like, this is all... Donaldson, you have a website? Punisher, yes. Now I'm a co-owner. All the male dancers are independent contractors. Donaldson, you've been doing this for 25 years. Punisher, 30, coming up on a big anniversary. So he's been for 30 years as an exotic dancer, okay? Donaldson, you dance with them? Punisher says, a professional dry hump. I'm supposed to be working on this. Gamer girl, I will try my best to answer your questions. Right now, I'm trying to read through this so that we can have a discussion. Why you skip over the website? Baby, the website ain't in here. I know you want the website. As soon as I get the info, I'll be sure I slide that to you, Michelle. Um, all right, so now Donaldson says for 30 years, thousands of ladies, you try not to develop feelings for them, right? So Punisher says you try not to. It's a job. Donaldson says, but you talked with Cassie. So Punisher says cordial. Donaldson says she asked to be able to call you. Punisher said just to set the sessions up. We were never asked to talk. Donaldson, she was comfortable with you. Punisher, she said so. Donaldson, you had feelings for her. Punisher, incorrect. Donaldson, but you thought she was only doing this with you. Punisher, that is correct. She'd said it was a special occasion. Donaldson, did you develop feelings for her? Punisher, that's not correct. Donaldson, you told the government. In the government's notes, you say you developed feelings for her. Punisher, that may have been taken out of context. Donaldson, you used your 25 years experience. Punisher, that was a different scene. Usually I aim for humor. Donaldson, you wouldn't try to dry hump someone who didn't want to be dry humped, correct? Punisher says, yes, it is important to read the room. Donaldson, so you read the room with Cassie and she wanted, so now they objected. And the judge said sustained. So Donaldson says, was Mr. Combs' request that you penetrate? Punisher says, it was a demand, a strong suggestion. Donaldson, Cassie paid you even when she canceled, right? Punisher, yes, $500. Now, for them to have all of this money, these numbers that these escorts and exotic dancers and things of this nature have been getting has been very lowballed. Wouldn't you say? $1,200, $500, $800. Child. Donaldson, Mr. Hayes, I wish you success with your book. Punisher, thank you. Redirect. Okay, so now Slavic comes back. What made you think Miss Ventura was enjoying herself? Punisher, it was the first time unprotected. Donaldson, without details. Slavic says without details. So there was an objection to that, okay? So they had no further questions. The judge says, anything, Mr. Donaldson? Donaldson comes back and he says, what do you mean by steamy? So apparently he must have said that things were steamy or something to that nature, right? So the Punisher says, I felt it was enjoyable for Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs. So now the government's next witness, okay, they called Special Agent Gerald Ganan. All right, so Slavic says, where do you work? He works for Homeland Security in Miami and in the National Security Group. So now Slavic says, March 2024, Agent Gannon, the Homeland Security Human Trafficking Group, selects in labor in Miami. That's what he says. Oh, that's where he says he works. My bad. So now, Tupac Shakur for life. All right. So now Slavic says, what time did the search begin? They're talking about the search of his home in Miami. So Gannon says after 3 p.m. Slavic, why so late? Gannon, we learned Mr. Combs and his family were flying out the country. Slavic, was there a pier on the property on Star Island? Gannon says, yes, we had to monitor it. Right? So they showed 2 photos of the Star Island property. Okay. Slavic says, why did you have to break open the gate? Gannon says to make sure bad actors wouldn't have time to put those who would search in danger. All right. Gannon, that's what Gannon said. Slavic, what is this a photo of? They had a photo of the pool and the pier. Okay. Slavic says, what did you find there? Gannon says, parts of an AR-15 rifle, Slex toys, and Astroglide. All in a picture. All in a picture. All right. Gannon, these magazines were loaded with bullets. There's no, I don't know, ammunition. That's what I should have said. All right, let's turn to two more exhibits. The exhibits, that's what Slavic is saying, and she asked, what are these? So Gannon says the ammunition we found. Slavic says, and these platform high heels, how high are they? Gannon says 7 inches. Slavic says this may be a good place to take a break for the day. So that is where we left off at, with Special Agent Gannon there, finding some 7-inch platform high heels. Let me see what this is right here. Y'all, 70% of y'all have said that it was smart for the defense to not cross-examine Cassie's mother, while 30% of y'all said, no, it was not smart of them to not question the mom, to cross-examine the mom. I personally feel like it was probably something that Diddy may have said, like, nah, don't question her. Okay, so now it's 69 to 30. Probably was like, nah, don't question her. But this mom right here, I heard that the to be there in person, that was very powerful. Okay, that what she gave was very powerful, that it was gripping, that it made people really realize the severity of everything. Now, we heard all of the salaciousness of it all. Now, what have we listened to? We have heard that not only was Cassie beaten up really badly, we also heard that Punisher, who was an exotic dancer, which is the same story that Mr. Phillips gave, that they were exotic dancers that ended up being paid to engage in intimate relations with Cassie while Diddy was there. The thing that they keep doing is they keep saying that Cassie was paying them, but Diddy was present. So I can see where the defense is getting ready to go with this. What they're getting ready to try to do is make it seem like, well, he was never the one that gave the money. It was always Cassie. Well, if he had all of Cassie's finances tied up and she wasn't putting out no money and she wasn't going on tour, where was her money coming from? How they booking when he's got her booked and busy in a hotel suite in some luxury hotel? Okay? Like the Park Hyatt, like Trump Towers, like wherever the heck they were at. She was booked and busy with freak off. So how was she booked and busy doing performances? Right, Diddy giving her the money to pay the workers. Diddy dirty money. There you go, Weta. And I mean, the criminal acts are being laid out there. How did he keep Cassie into this lifestyle of freak-offs and being trafficked around the country, trafficked outside the country, into freak-offs with people that were being paid for intimate services? By beating her up. That's intimidation. That's intimidation. You're hearing now when they raided his home in Miami that we're hearing a lot about that. So the case is still unfolding right now. And now when the defense comes back, the defense has to try to undo everything that the government did. Did she start off as a model way before? She was a model. Before she met Diddy, she was a model. She met Ryan Leslie. She was allegedly in a relationship with Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie is the one who did Me and You. Diddy heard Me and You and he wanted Cassie. He signed Cassie in 2006, 2007. They were dealing with one another. And then the text messages, like I said to y'all before, text messages that they were showing us were from 2012, 2017, 2018. Like, you're showing us messages way down the line. It's not like you're showing us messages from 2008, 2009, where she is asking for these freak-offs. You're talking years down the line. At least that's from what we've seen, that these were from around then. And you have to also, let me see if I can pull this up for y'all, because I was going through a document, and there are things that I have highlighted and I would like to share with y'all, because I am really digesting some of this stuff, because I want y'all to understand all the stands, what we are dealing with here. Because this is not, we have to keep sight, and every now and again, I have to come back and I have to remind everybody what we are talking about, okay? So it says that here you have Miss Ventura. I would like to direct your attention to the first few years of the relationship. Approximately 2007 to 2008 is when that relationship began, right? But let's go all the way back up to the top. Hold on. Hold on, baby. Hold on, baby. I'm almost done, Money Eye. Okay. Right here. I think I read this to y'all already about the substances, the sores, and all of that. I was reading this on the plane, or is it on my phone and I'm on the phone? It's on the phone and I'm on the phone. Hold on. Let me see if I can open it up over here. If not, then I will go and I will do my best to open it up for y'all. Was it the 14th? I think it may have been the 14th. So, no, I was in day one. That's where I was, day one. But I know that it's probably not here. So I wanted to go back over the RICO with you guys. Ooh, is it there? Please have the edits that I had there on there. Okay. That is the one night. So that's not what I had. All right. So what they were talking about here, what I was looking at was what the RICO was actually for. And even though all right, here we go. It says, during this trial, you're going to hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. I've already read that to y'all. Hold on. Okay. I got it. All right. The RICO conspiracy requires a group effort. Even if the group is 2 people, and there will be evidence of that. So you're listening to evidence. So basically, it doesn't matter. Even if the group is just 2 people. And we keep hearing about Diddy, Roger Bonds, right? Capricorn Clark. D-Rock. We heard about Uncle Paulie. Even if it's just 2 people, that's considered to be a group. So there you go. Okay? Hold on. Now, the defendant is charged with racketeering conspiracy based on his agreement to commit crimes as part of an enterprise. That's what it is. It's kidnapping and arson, distributing drugs to other people, exploiting employees for labor, things of that nature. So it's a lot of different things. Thank you. It's a lot of different things that are adding up to all of the charges, okay? It says that the defendant is also charged separately for sex trafficking Cassie and Jane through force, fraud, or coercion. The defendant is charged with using all three tactics to make Cassie and Jane participate in days-long, drug-fueled, recorded sexual intercourse with male escorts against their will. And he is charged with transporting Cassie, Jane, and male escorts across state lines. Okay? So I wanted to focus in on that part right there. Hey, honey, are you able to access the exhibits they have been showing in court? The feds have released. Actually, I'm not considered a member of the press. I'm trying to figure out how I could go ahead and do that so that I can get them. But it is a process that you have to go through in order to be able to get those, because they're not just releasing them to the public. They are releasing them to the press only. So now hey, Blackbone. Who is this? What'd you say? All right. So when you look at that, we have not heard from Jane yet, which, by the way, Jane is the young lady who actually did an interview with Tasha K. And in the beginning of all of this, they were saying that witness 3, which was supposed to be her, I believe it was witness 3, was missing. And so was the lawyer. But I will find out tomorrow all of the information for y'all as to what's what and all of that. But that's what it is. So this is why they are focusing on the Cassie part, okay? And as you hear, this is not just going to be about Cassie. This is also going to be about Jane. Jane is as in Jane Doe. That's what this girl is right now, is being considered Jane Doe. The next one that is going to testify. And if you listen to the video that I did, I spoke to you about what happened to Jane. And Jane, actually, her story damn near mirrors Cassie's. She was introduced into the freak-offs as a one-time thing. She thought it was just something, oh, a special occasion, we gonna do it. She didn't know that once she said yes to the one time, that it was going to be a continual thing. And the trafficking of them across spaces is, and then keeping them there with violence and coercion. That's why these people are testifying. Those are RICO chargeable offenses. So there y'all have it. There's a little bit of your day 7 broken down for y'all. Break it down into sections. Any questions that you guys have that I could try to answer right now? Because I can't guarantee that I have all the answers. But what I will tell you is I will give you some of them. Henny, I said it when you read it as Jane. I knew it was the girl who was on Tasha K's show. But isn't that Baby Love's mom also? No. It's another chick. That's not Baby Love's mom. But she was a single mom when she started dealing with Diddy, though. Once they did it the first time, he recorded them for continuous blackmailing. Once they did it the first time, they showed him that they was DTG and that they would do anything to be with him. They showed him that they were gullible and easily manipulated. Remember yesterday, it was said that he had Cassie right where she wanted him, where he wanted her. She was young and moldable. That's what he said. You don't talk about somebody that you love like that. And you don't do the things that he did. I'm trying to see. You know, I'm looking at this and it looks like some of these news outlets, like some of these bloggers and stuff that was reporting on them, page 6 seems to have found um, a photo of Cassie with a possible bruise on the side of her head, you know, out and about and things of that nature. And it's just like, you know, I really hope that Diddy Gorilla Pimpin' needs to be studied. Real talk. He needs to be studied. Seriously. But the question that's not being asked is, how did he come into this? Who groomed him? I don't see nobody asking that question. Who groomed Diddy into this? Where did he see this at? Where did he get this behavior from? Now, his mom, allegedly, from what I've heard, his mom was a madam. But that just means that she was running a whorehouse. That doesn't mean that she was running a house of freakiness. Andre Harrell and Clive Davis, that, well, y'all said it. I didn't say it. Y'all said it. I ain't say it. Did he see a few things, or did he have to do a few things in order to get a few things? That's my question. And if he had to do a few things to get a few things, what things did he do? This is crazy. What happened? Did 3 decades before he got caught up. That part. And the crazy part is, all it took was for Cassie to come forward, for people to open their mouths about what was going on behind closed doors. This is that whole mentality of what goes on in my house stays in my house at a whole different level, bro. This takes that to a whole different level, don't it? It's not really a grooming. It's something he thought about. And once he got money, he could talk women into doing that. You think so? How did he get to be where he is? The gatekeepers had to open the door and let him in. He wasn't just that great and let him in. Hey, everybody that's coming in. Wendy Williams been talking about him since the 90s. Yeah. Hugh Hefner. I heard a lot of things, a lot of different things over the years about that, about them parties too. Crazy work. Hey, you said watching corn will do that. If you know, you know. I ain't never seen nobody who watched corn and said, let me go fill a pool up with some Astroglide and baby oil and have my partner slosh around in it. I think he really did have issues with his member. It was too little. Hey, Copter Rick Rock, it was too little. It wasn't working right. So he sat back and he watched. I'm waiting for them to start coming out with the other stuff. He knew they was rolling their eyes in the dark. He knew he couldn't satisfy them, so he had to figure out something. Not his thimble, mercy to the water table, expeditiously. She called it a thimble. Listen, listen, listen. This is crazy work. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I had my mama pray over me something fierce. I stopped dead in my tracks. I was like, can you pray over me real quick? Because I don't know what I'm walking into, okay? This is a lot. This is a lot. And I'm wheeling my suitcase down to go get my flight this morning. And I stopped dead in my tracks. My mama started praying. I was like, I had to have her plead some things over me because I don't know what energy I'm walking into. This is crazy work. But I should do another poll and ask y'all, do y'all believe this story about... I'm still kind of thrown back because it was like when him and Suge Knight was beefing, right? I was like, why does Diddy want to beef with him? Like, Diddy, you like this big, and Suge, he's like, he gonna take you out, bro. But now we hearing that Diddy was about that life, or was it the rugs? Did he have courage because of the rugs? Y'all tell me in the comments. Did he have courage because of the rugs? Amen for Henny's protection over there with this case. No, because all jokes aside, we walking into some real freaky ish, and I don't want none of that to splash on me. I do not want none of this to splash on me. Diddy can have that. Marcy said it's the rugs. Not to defend him by any means, but he was about that life. You think so? I don't know. I mean, he probably... I don't know. Suge started it based on what happened with Pac. Diddy wanted to smash it. Suge had people scary. I mean, yeah. But her YouTube channel is still up with all the Diddy exposing stories. Imagine watching court and not being able to bust. You see he had pills for increased... That's not what that was for. Crash out to the water table. I'm not doing this with you. You to the water table now. You think he was about that life for real? And did them rugs made him feel like Superman? It said his father was in the streets real tough. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know his father was in the streets, and his father was running with Nicky Barnes. But I know his mom was a madam, too, after the daddy died. I don't know if the mom was a madam after the father passed, or was she a madam while the father was alive? Oh. Where Gene Deal? Somebody get Gene. I got a question. Oh, me, I got a question. Was she madaming before or after? Because if you watched it, hey, Ari, if you watched the Diddy special that came out that he was trying to sue them people for, where his alleged best friend, because where's this best friend that grew up with him in Mount Vernon at during this trial? He ain't down there. I ain't seen nobody say nothing about him being down there. But anyway, he said that Diddy would open the door and see some things going on in the room. He would see a lady over there just, getting busy. People was exchanging money and bodily fluids. So, I don't know. Maybe this was something that was already in him. It wasn't on him. It was in him. Because maybe he was one of them kids that was watching what was going on in them rooms. And but why he like everybody to be so glistening and shiny though? Why they gotta be glistening? And I use baby oil. And when I be putting baby oil on, and I know how I like my skin to shine because it look all nice and pretty when it's shining. But now I be putting it on and I be like, you done ruined a skincare product for everybody. Oh, don't say shining like a diamond. He gave orders and had his goons do the dirt. But when it came to women, he beat them down like rag dolls. That's terrible. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Not he a hoe. He likes shiny things. He a shiny hoe. Paulie to the water table. Why are y'all like this? He watched that scene in Belly and got to... They asked him what's his favorite porn movie. He said Belly. Yo, you ain't right. You ain't right. You are not right. I'm never going to look at Belly the same now. Now you done ruined Belly. Traded the shiny suits for shiny birthday suits. You see how y'all are? And Gloss made his glow stick glow a little more. Rita, I ain't never sent you to the water table. You go. I said I wasn't doing no water table the whole time that we covering Diddy, but y'all are out of control. Y'all are out of control. I can't do this with y'all. He probably owned a stake in Johnson Johnson baby oil the way he was buying them. Look, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. He need to go ahead and just make him some Diddy oil. People will buy it. I am so serious. Y'all lying if y'all saying y'all wouldn't buy some Diddy oil. Put a 1 in the chat if you would buy Diddy oil. I don't even want a Henny glass because I don't want Henny associated with it. Get you some Ciroc and some Diddy oil and see how your night go. Do they even still sell Ciroc? Y'all lying y'all butts off. Y'all are lying. Y'all are lying to me. Talk about heck no, nope, hell to the nah. We don't know what's in that oil. Okay, look. Cassie already said there was nothing in the baby oil. Like he never put nothing in the baby oil. Plus you can't put GHB in the baby oil because it's gonna dilute. Like you can't put that in the baby oil. There was nothing in the baby oil. That is his oil. He sold the recipe for the concoction to Johnson & Johnson. Well, if he sold the recipe to Johnson & Johnson, then when you put it on, your skin wouldn't absorb it so quickly. Well, I know my skin does because I have dry skin. So I put the oil on after I put on my bath, and then I go put my Nivea on because Nivea is thick. And sometimes I go and I put that Palmer's cocoa butter on. Yeah, I be out here smelling like coconut. You like white Henny? You don't like Henny black? I would not touch Diddy with oil. I would not touch Diddy oil with a 10-foot pole. No, Diddy. He ain't even got a 10-foot pole. Ciroc stock is through the roof. Are you sick? See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You see, Ciroc stock is through the roof right now. Y'all telling me that y'all would not buy that Diddy oil? Y'all would buy it. Y'all would buy it. What? You sit up here talking about, oh, Lord Henny. Lord have mercy, nothing. Y'all would. Y'all would, especially if you put it on and it stays shiny all day long. Diddy ain't the only one that likes shiny skin. It's just he likes shiny skin a little too much. Y'all gonna try it. Somebody gonna tell me on the low, Henny, I got that Diddy oil. That Diddy oil, it smell good. It make your skin feel silky and smooth. Your hands just be sliding all over when you put it on. You just slide. Yeah. I bet you Ciroc, baby oil, Johnson Johnson baby oil and Astroglide stocks is through the roof. All three of them. What? They held a comment that said Diddy oil? Yes, cocoa butter. I like to smell like cocoa butter and all of that out. Yeah, Ciroc used to be my drink, but glad I stopped long time ago. Thank you, pandemic. I was not really a vodka drinker. I'm a tequila or a Henny girl. It's one or the other. Every now and again, I might do me a little Bombay, but that's gin. Might do me a little whiskey.
Did you order food yet?
No,
What the heck is my food?
but you don't have to. I'm here with peanut butter, you guys. Yeah, we gonna wait for crash out report. Go check the stock. Matter of fact, I could check the stocks with you. Hold on. Hold on. I'm about to see. Johnson and Johnson baby oil stocks today. Y'all telling me y'all not gonna buy the Diddy oil? Look at this. A month ago, 6 months ago, today. Okay, so 1 month ago they was up high, but they're not in the red. They are in the green. They are in the green. And they have stayed in the green. It's up today by 0.77%. Astroglide stocks today. Okay, who makes Astroglide? As of February 4th of 2025, the 7 best personal lubricants. Let's read, let's see. Where did that rank? Oh, it wasn't. I can't get Astroglide. Let's see. Astroglide sales. If y'all made these sales go up, I don't want to hear nothing. Personal lubricants market. The major players in personal lubricant markets are Durex, KY, Church and Dwight, and Astroglide. Yeah, thank you. Astroglide account KY, Durex, and Church and Dwight and Astroglide accounted for 50% of the U.S. shares sales in the market. So I can't get them on the market to see how much they actually went up in stock. But them baby oil sales is up 0.77% today. So that means that people is out here buying baby oil. So y'all gonna buy that Diddy oil. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. You know how I know y'all finna buy it? Because that's what we do. Thinking about using PD oil. Well, I'm gonna have to run to the confessional. See? Diddy don't own it. He should though, right? Listen. I don't know if I want to get up in there in that main courtroom. I think I'm going to go into the overflow room tomorrow. Astroglide. Heard about during the Diddy court hearing. I've heard of it, all right. You need me in the main. You know I gotta get there early to be in the main courtroom. What you mean if you can walk? What happened to you? Why you can't walk, Moonlight? I should get a Kim Porter shirt. But hey, Faye. Oh, I forgot, Mel. I forgot. You need me to leave now, then. Miss Pammy said, Get your butt up and go down there right now. I don't know, Fat Dime. I haven't been down there yet. My flight was great, Centric Soul. Thank you. Swagger. Water table. Everybody going to the water table right now, including myself. I was hungry. I haven't eaten all day. And I love crackers and cheese. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm about to go. I need to get my stuff together for tomorrow. You know, lay out my clothes and stuff like it's the first day of school. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. You're welcome. I've been there the last couple of times. Been where the last couple of times? You at the Diddy trial, Sherm? I'm looking for my water jug. I couldn't bring it on the plane with me. I thought about bringing it. Making it, you know, making sure it was empty and bringing it with me. But I didn't think they would let me. I'm going to the water table my damn self. But anyway, I love y'all. I'm here. We'll be there tomorrow. We gonna hear what's going on in the courtroom. I'm gonna come and give y'all the live updates and all of that stuff and all of that. And yeah. I'm at the water table with a joint. That's fine. We all at the water table. But I might check back in with y'all later because I did meet some interesting people on the plane. But this has been a lot. It's been a lot. But I'm here now. So we gonna get to it. All right. Love is always love, y'all. When y'all rest well. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, everybody.